Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into the top 10 most shocking deaths in history. We're talking about the kind of deaths that sent shockwaves around the world, the ones that left people speechless and asking, what? Get ready, because we're about to uncover the stories behind some of the most unbelievable and tragic ends. Stay tuned, because some of these will leave you speechless. Let's kick things off with one of history's most famous assassinations, Julius Caesar, a man whose name is synonymous with power and ambition. Imagine, you're one of the most powerful men in the world, you've conquered nations, you're practically a god in the eyes of your people. Your influence stretches across continents, and your name strikes fear and awe into the hearts of many. And then bam! You're betrayed by your closest friends and stabbed, not once, not twice, but 23 times. The very people you trusted with your life turned against you in a heartbeat. Brutal, right? That's how Caesar's reign came to a bloody end on the floor of the Roman Senate. The place where he once held power became his final resting place, soaked in his own blood. Can you imagine the betrayal he must have felt? The shock, the disbelief, as he looked into the eyes of his assassins, realizing that his closest allies had turned into his executioners. His own friend Brutus delivered the final blow, uttering the famous words, "Et tu, Brute." Those words have echoed through history, symbolizing the ultimate act of betrayal. Caesar's death triggered a power vacuum that plunged Rome into a civil war, forever changing the course of history. The empire he built began to crumble as factions fought for control, leading to years of chaos and bloodshed. It's a story of ambition, betrayal, and the fragility of power, even for someone like Caesar. His assassination serves as a stark reminder that no matter how powerful one becomes, they are never invincible. The legacy of Julius Caesar lives on, not just in the annals of history, but as a timeless lesson in the complexities of human nature and the perilous nature of power. Fast forward to 1963, Dallas, Texas. The sun is shining, people are lining the streets excited to see President John F. Kennedy. He's young, charismatic, the embodiment of hope for a brighter future. But as his motorcade makes its way through Dealey Plaza, gunshots ring out. The world watches in horror as JFK is struck down in broad daylight. The assassination sent shockwaves across the globe. One minute, the leader of the free world is waving to the crowds, the next he's gone. The events of that day are etched in our collective memory, a stark reminder that even in the modern world, tragedy can strike at any moment. Princess Diana, the people's princess, beloved for her kindness, compassion, and humanitarian work. Her fairy tale wedding to Prince Charles captivated the world, but their marriage was anything but a fairy tale. Then, in 1997, tragedy struck in a Parisian tunnel. Diana, fleeing from paparazzi, was killed in a car crash. The world mourned. Millions of people felt like they had lost a friend, a role model, a beacon of hope. Her death was a stark reminder of the invasive nature of fame and the devastating consequences it can have. Chapter 4. Michael Jackson, the King of Pop's final curtain call. Michael Jackson, the King of Pop, a musical icon who redefined the boundaries of entertainment. His music, his dance moves, his sheer stage presence captivated generations. But behind the dazzling lights and electrifying performances there was a more complex story. In 2009, at the age of 50, Michael Jackson died from a cardiac arrest. The news spread like wildfire, leaving fans across the globe in disbelief and mourning. His death sparked a global outpouring of grief and reignited debates about the pressures of fame and the dark side of the music industry. Chapter 5. Martin Luther King Jr. A dream cut short. Martin Luther King Jr., a man who stood for peace, equality, and justice in a time of immense racial tension. He was a beacon of hope for millions, a leader who used his voice to challenge the status quo and demand change. His speeches resonated with the oppressed and inspired countless individuals to join the fight for civil rights. He dreamed of a world where his children would be judged not by the color of their skin but by the content of their character. This vision was not just for his children but for all future generations, a dream of unity and equality that transcended race and class. But on April 4, 1968, a bullet silenced that dream. The news of his assassination spread like wildfire, leaving a nation in shock and disbelief. As he stood on the balcony of the Lorraine Motel in Memphis, an assassin's bullet cut him down. The place where he fell became a symbol of the struggle and the sacrifice that marked the civil rights movement. The assassination sent shockwaves through the nation and the world, sparking outrage and mourning. People from all walks of life came together to honor his memory, to grieve the loss of a leader who had given them hope. His death was a devastating blow to the civil rights movement, but his legacy continues to inspire generations to fight for equality and justice. His words and actions live on, reminding us that the fight for civil rights is far from over, and that each of us has a role to play in making his dream a reality. Chapter 6. Abraham Lincoln, the president who fell to an assassin. Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, was a man of great resolve and vision. He led the nation through its darkest hour, the Civil War, a conflict that threatened to tear the country apart. Lincoln's leadership was instrumental in preserving the Union. He held the country together, abolished slavery with the Emancipation Proclamation, and laid the groundwork for a more unified nation. His vision extended beyond the war, aiming for a future where all men were truly free. But just days after the end of the Civil War, on April 14, 1865, tragedy struck. Lincoln was shot by John Wilkes Booth, a well-known actor and Confederate sympathizer, while attending a play at Ford's Theater. The nation was plunged into mourning. The assassination of Lincoln, a man who had just guided the nation through such a tumultuous period, sent shockwaves through the country. People from all walks of life were devastated by the loss of their leader, a man who had become a symbol of hope and unity. It was a stark reminder of the deep divisions that still existed and the fragility of peace. The nation faced the daunting task of reconstruction without the guiding hand of Lincoln, a leader who had envisioned a healed and united America. His legacy, however, continued to inspire future generations. Chapter 7. Tupac Shakur, a hip-hop legend, a voice for the voiceless, a poet who articulated the struggles and aspirations of a generation. His music transcended genres, tackling social issues with raw honesty and poetic brilliance. But his life was cut tragically short in 1996 when he was gunned down in a drive-by shooting in Las Vegas. The circumstances surrounding his death remain shrouded in mystery, fueling conspiracy theories to this day. Tupac's death at the height of his career sent shockwaves through the music world and beyond. He became an icon, his music a soundtrack for rebellion and hope. Chapter 8. Kurt Cobain, the voice of a generation silenced. Kurt Cobain, the frontman of Nirvana, the voice of a generation grappling with angst, alienation, and the complexities of life. His music, raw and emotionally charged, resonated with millions, propelling grunge music into the mainstream. But behind the success and adulation, Cobain struggled with personal demons. In 1994, at the age of 27, he took his own life. His death sent shockwaves through the music world and beyond, leaving fans heartbroken and grappling with unanswered questions. Cobain's death became a symbol of the tragic loss of a generation's voice, a reminder of the importance of mental health and the devastating consequences of its neglect. Chapter 9. Marilyn Monroe, Hollywood's Golden Girl gone too soon. Marilyn Monroe, Hollywood's Golden Girl, a symbol of beauty, glamour, and sensuality. Her on-screen charisma and comedic timing made her a global icon, but behind the dazzling smile and captivating persona, there was a fragility, a vulnerability that was often overlooked. In 1962, at the age of 36, Marilyn Monroe was found dead in her Los Angeles home. Her death, ruled a probable suicide, sent shockwaves through Hollywood and beyond. The circumstances surrounding her death remain a subject of speculation and debate, adding to the mystique of this Hollywood legend. Chapter 10. Elvis Presley, the king is gone but not forgotten. Elvis Presley, the king of rock and roll, a musical pioneer who revolutionized popular music and culture. His music, his dance moves, his charisma captivated a generation and continue to resonate with fans across the globe. But in 1977, at the age of 42, Elvis Presley died at his Graceland mansion. His death, attributed to a heart attack, sent shockwaves through the world. Fans mourned the loss of their idol, and the world grieved for a musical icon. Elvis's legacy continues to this day, his music transcending generations and solidifying his place as a true legend. Gone but not forgotten. Thanks for watching. If you found this video interesting, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more fascinating content. We explored the lives and tragic deaths of some of history's most impactful figures. From emperors to presidents, musicians to cultural icons, their stories remind us of the fragility of life and the enduring power of their legacies. See you next time.